Angry guy here. And women attacking the password bros are immediately filled with regret. So women attacking the password bros are immediately filled with regret. We're going to go ahead and just jump right into some videos because I want you to see this very quickly. What's actually happening here now with a lot of these ladies that, they're getting a wake-up call. So let's go ahead and just jump right in.
To Bangkok, Thailand, and right at the airport, she made a very interesting observation about the passport bros.
Honestly, the amount of white dudes with Thai women that are waiting to board international flights, it's an absurdity. It is crazy.
Now that she says a lot of white men, hold on a minute.
Black men from America that can't get no so they go to third world countries. I haven't seen a white yet. Are there white men in this? Because I feel like it's only men.
I guess it's a Western men thing, not just black men.
Like, half of the couples in this airport right now are beautiful Thai women with super basic white dudes.
And yes, her comment section were full of passport bros and they were having none of it. It's hilarious.
The honest to goodness truth, and this is the sad thing, is that the true standards, the true statistics today are basically this. Most women are not attracted to 95% of men in the United States. 95% of men. Women find roughly 95% of most men as unattractive. Okay? So something has to be wrong. Are you saying that all the men, virtually all the men in the US are below their standards? They're below their income levels, they're below their look? Come on. The truth is that you have men who are extremely handsome, who are extremely fit, who are being told that, you know what, you don't qualify, you're not good enough. And it's unbelievable. You've got guys from all walks of guys. You've got men who make $120,000, $200,000 a year being called broke boys. Guys who dress well. Guys who have quite a bit of money in the bank, anywhere from sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50, even $500,000 in the bank. Not good enough. Okay? Oh, how tall are you? Sorry, oh, you're only 5'9". Sorry, I only date guys at least 6 foot. Or some girls 6'3". All right? Or some women, I only date 6'7". Okay? You need to be at least 6 feet tall or taller. You need to have a net worth of at least over $1 million. Okay? And you need to be pulling in that every single year. And then you also need to have all these different traits. Like you need to be charismatic. You need to be empathetic. You need to be her best friend. You need to do more for her than her girlfriends. You need to be able to entertain her. Oh, you better be able to make her laugh. And what do you bring to the table, miss? WAP. Come on. And then it's no wonder that you have all these guys leaving. And it's crazy because she's like, oh, all these guys are basic. But you ladies, you find 95% of men as basic in the United States. 95% of men. And I want you to go over to Thailand and I want you to look at what the men in Thailand look like. Look at the guys in Thailand. Because if the guy, they're native men, the men who are from these countries, go to these countries and I want you to look at what the men from these countries look like. They're not all giga chads. Okay? So if you find 95% of the men from the richest country in the world as unattractive, and America has among the tallest men in the world, the tallest. We have among the tallest men in the world compared to other countries in the world. And we are on average too short for most women in America. And then you go to countries where the average height is 5'5". Okay? The truth of the matter is that if women find 95% of American men as unattractive, 95% of Western men as unattractive, then that means that when you go overseas, women are roughly finding women will roughly find something like 99% of men outside of the United States, outside of Western society, as unattractive. Think about it reasonably. Okay, because we're the highest earning income men in the world. That $30,000 in the US is more like 90,000, or sometimes even more than that. Sometimes even almost like $200,000 in some countries. I'm not joking about. I'm so serious. You think I'm joking? I watched Sunshine Shoulders, and he talks about how he spent something like just on like under $400 to rent a 2-bedroom house on the beach, in the Philippines. Okay, I used to rent a 2-bedroom house in Mexico, 2-bedroom brand new house, as I've traveled. And I rented that for like maybe it was like $150, $160 a month. I don't know if she raised it to like $175. The house I was renting, living overseas in the United States, that same house would have been like forget about New York. That's like maybe at least like 35. I mean, 2-bedroom. My gosh, what am I even thinking? 2-bedroom house? Oh my goodness. Maybe $4,000 or $5,000. I'm probably wrong about that. Maybe even depending on where, 10,000. It's crazy in places like New York, California, $6,000-$7,000 a month. Like, I'm just giving you these examples, right? And I was paying like somewhere between $150 and $175. I mean, that's how ridiculous it is. All right. And he's like, Sunshine Shoulders is paying like 3 something a month. That's for a house on the beach. On the beach. It costs more to live on the beach. And he's paying for a house just under $400 for a house, 2-bedroom house on the beach. Okay? I want y'all to wake up and realize and just kind of see how different things are outside of Western society. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube you're enjoying my content and you want to see more of it, so YouTube will show you more of it. But this is not a game. This is absolutely not a game. I'm having a great time like talking and sharing this with you, but let's go ahead and jump to the next video because I know you guys are going to want to see it.
You say that you're a passport bro. I'm just keeping it real. When you say that, you are publicly admitting that you don't have the personality, social skills, or the confidence to get a lady in your country.
A few moments later.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education.
A lot of these women talking shit on the passport bros have never left the country. It's obvious because the Philippines is one of the countries with the highest levels of English speaking people that I've ever been to. I met a Filipina here and she's going to explain more about it.
Okay, so this doesn't go to every American woman.
Yeah, the Filipinos are getting pissed. Like, they're getting pissed at this point. But just to let you guys know, 93% of all Filipinos speak English. 93%. Okay, if one Filipino meets another Filipino, there's a greater than 90% chance usually that they're going to speak English to communicate with one another. You're gonna say, what? How is that possible? The reason is because a lot of in the Philippines, there are many different languages. Tagalog is just one of the languages that they speak. It's like some people are like, should I learn Tagalog if I go to the Philippines? No, because there are many different languages that people speak in the Philippines. So because they speak so many different languages, English is kind of like the universal language. So they will speak English to one another to communicate with one another most of the time, because their primary language, their first language, it can maybe something that the other Filipino doesn't speak, unless they live in like a local area or they all speak that same native language, then on average, if one Filipino runs into another Filipino, they're going to speak English to one another. When we call customer service now, a lot of companies no longer have American customer service. They just redirect straight to the Philippines. That's another thing that people need to understand. Like you speak to a lot of customer service representatives today, and they're now in the Philippines, because the Philippines, they're one of the largest English speaking countries in the world, and and they're also one of the highest educated countries in the world. I mean, they have the same postgraduate they earn the same number of postgraduate degrees as women in the United States, and they also have high rates of women who go into nursing.
Out there. This is just for those who keeps on talking shit about us, okay? And it seems to me that a lot of American women are insecure about how we treat men better than you guys. And it's actually because we are raised to be good wives, and finding a good man is actually a prize for us. And if you're insecure about this, if you're threatened in some kind of way, I suggest you work on yourselves instead of talking shit about other people who doesn't even care about you guys, who doesn't even know you exist. And y'all kinda seem hard to please and naggy and insecure, and I think that is why men leaves you guys.
And this is really always something to watch, because the level of hypocrisy.
And this is why the men leave you guys. All right, hard to please, insecure. I mean, it's crazy, and it's like someone said this years ago that Western women, like what we were experiencing, what we're seeing in the West, was like the greatest disgrace in the entire world. And I said this years ago, that Western women would serve as an example of what not to do for generations of other women in the rest of the world. Because what's happening right now are men are doing one of two things. Men are walking away. They're walking away from Western society, but they're also walking away from women in Western society. If they want a wife, if they want a girlfriend, they're going overseas to find someone. If they're staying in the West, they're not. They're like, I'm good. I'm not dating. I'm not marrying. I'm not even having a conversation. Okay? Even women, there are good women in Western society today, but it's like a needle in a haystack, and men are just not going to take the risk. They're not going to put up the stress. They're not going to make that investment. You go over to another country, and these women, they're fun, they're playful, they're kind, and they have femininity still intact, which is something that men in Western society, many have never experienced it. It's so frightening when you have a 75-year-old man and he's never experienced femininity in his entire life. A lot of 60-year-old men today have never experienced femininity, actual femininity, in their entire lives. And that is telling how long it's been now since femininity has been sucked out of women in Western society, and there's been a fight to remove masculinity as well, so that we have a society where the powers that be can do whatever they want in these societies, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
We see women from the West exhibit, despite their own actions, because we know that there are women out there who put themselves out there to be exploited by men from all parts of the globe who have the resources to be able to fly them to wherever they want them to come and do God knows what to them for a weekend of fun and a direct deposit. So honestly, they are the last ones who should be casting any sort of judgment. Pretty much what it is a narrow-minded and low level of thinking to believe that these women must be somehow in the most destitute and downright just impoverished positions where they must be forcing themselves on a daily to deal with these men. But that's something we know that is just not true. And I know even for some of you, you've been thinking about what your next move should be. How can you open up your opportunities in the dating market? And that's exactly why Christian Filipina will be a great place to start. Christian Filipina is the #1 dating service at helping men like you connect with women overseas. There's really not much more I need to say that you didn't just hear about how they're raised to be good wives, and that it is a prize for them to be able to find a good man to be their husband. So go ahead.
Yeah, guys. So, I mean, here's the thing. If I'm actually one of the partners over at Christian Filipina, I can definitely say that's a great site where you can go and you can check out Filipinas, because these are women with values. So and they do screen some of these women. So what I would recommend, I actually have a link in the description. You can actually go and check out my link. Click on my link and check out christianfilipina.com. And it is affiliate. I do make a small amount of money if you sign up for the service. But I've been on Christian Filipina and I've found some really cool people on there, and you should definitely go and check that out and see what it's about. I had someone recently who said that he basically went online and he tried to meet a Filipina online and he got screwed, and now he's back. And you have to know what you're doing. You have to screen these women. You have to test these women. You have to make sure that the other person is not just some random bro that's chatting you up and try to get your dough, because you don't really know who you're speaking to. So services like Christian Filipina are definitely great services to check out, to use those to find quality women, godly women, women who actually want to settle down, that are not out in the streets, and that are serious. So that's a place that you should definitely look into.
Check out and join the #1 dating service that passport bros are going to meet sincere and beautiful women. Check out Christian Filipina.
What's your name?
Kia.
Kia, where you from?
Philly.
Okay, you came here from Philly?
I came here.
You having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
Okay, calm down. I just good. Okay, what's your name?
S.
You from Philly?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what's your name?
Jarrell.
Where you from?
Philly.
Oh, so y'all all came from Philly. Okay, so quick question. What's the minimum amount of money a man needs to make to date you?
Oh, my God. So, there, I don't know how easy.
We ain't got much time.
Oh, you need to make at least 150,000.
Okay, you make 150,000?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, what about you?
Around the same route.
150. You make 150?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I make about 70.
We gonna
I
go back
make
to
about 70, but he got to make more than me.
Okay. What about you?
I'm with the over 150.
And you make 150?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But he need to make more than it.
Okay, so why do you feel a man needs to make more money than you?
Because he's the provider.
And what are you?
Not no roommate. Sprinkle.
So let me ask you a question. I don't know nothing about that. So let me ask you a question. If your man make more than you, do you think the bill should be 50-50?
I'm not doing 50-50.
What you doing?
Nothing. He can handle it.
$150,000 ain't a lot of money.
It's not, but he can handle it.
Okay, what you doing in your relationship?
I'm going to do 40.
What you doing?
Nothing.
Okay, so which one of y'all married? Thanks.
The level of delusion.
Like they're out here on their girls trip right now, and they think that this is funny. Did you hear a little bit sprinkle? There was a mother who came out recently and went after Miss Sprinkle and let her know what was up. She was either a older millennial or younger Gen X, and she basically let Miss Sprinkle know that she wasn't gonna tolerate it. All right, you guys, I'm telling y'all right now, some of these young ladies need to watch out, because some of these mothers used to be out in the streets too. All right, and you think that you're gonna go out here and do this with their sons, and they're out here financially supporting some of these kids, and you think you're gonna come out there taking their lunch money so that you can go and use it for Chad and Tyrone, and it's not gonna work out like that. You got some of these women that are 41 years old and they hitting the gym. And a lot of these young women, they're not that strong. They really are not that strong. They think they're tough and big and bad. And then, some Gen Xer just comes up to you unless you know what's up. Like Gen X you think you know the streets. You don't know the streets like Gen X knows the streets. Gen X grew up on the streets. They were born on the streets, all right? Y'all don't know the streets like Gen X knows the streets, all right? Gen X were called latchkey kids for a reason, all right? I saw a video from a Gen Xer who said that if all the adults disappeared, Gen X wouldn't have even given a damn. As long as they had their friends and food to eat, they would have been fine. They would have been out there chilling. This is Gen X for y'all. So these women are out here thinking this is a game, and then they're gonna have their fun, and then they're gonna find a man that's gonna hold them down and pay for everything and cover everything. Do you make $150,000 a year? No. Okay, so why does he need to make $150,000 a year? Because he's the man, he's the provider. Wait a minute, he's the provider, he's the protector, but let me ask you, but is he the boss? Absolutely not. Absolutely, exactly. So he must provide everything. He must protect, but he's not the man of the house. He's not in charge. He's not in charge. And they wonder why men are walking away. And how many of y'all are married? Not one of them. out here on their girls trip, and they seem to think that they're going to keep on doing this. This is how life is going to be. They're going to keep on getting away with this. They guys, they don't realize over the next 10 years, like, things are going to change. All right, they don't get it. And then within 20 years, oh my gosh, imagine living like this for 20 years. Like, they think this is a game. Nothing lasts forever. I said it once, I'll say it again. Nothing lasts forever, and it's going to catch up to them. And when it does, what are they going to do? They're going to blame men for it. They're going to blame men. They're going to blame society. They're going to blame everyone else except for themselves, because they will never take accountability for what they have done and decisions that they've made. And they're going to say that men could not, that it's the fault of men because they didn't want to get their money up and they didn't want to step up. I mean, guys, look at all of these women. Look at, when you look at the body mass index of these women and compare that to your average Filipina who's slim. Who's slim? Your average Filipina or your average woman from Thailand or Laos or Vietnam or Japan or even China. You don't see this in these countries. Even in South America, you don't see this level. All right. In most South American countries, you don't see people like this with this body mass index. And like I said, women don't like 95% of all men today. So when these men go to other countries, they look exotic. They're going over there. They look exotic. They're highly educated. They're family orientated, and they have a large amount of savings. Because if there's one thing that, believe it or not, that American men have that a lot of men don't have in other countries compared, is better financial literacy. Because a lot of countries, you go to the Philippines, you go to Mexico, you go to South America. I mean, even in Eastern European countries, these people, the guys over there, whatever money they make, they drink that out. As soon as they make money, they drink it out. It's crazy. There are people in these countries who make good money. You think it's a game? There are men in Mexico who make $100 a day, $150 a day, $200 a day. I'm so serious. I've known people, like I've known guys. I'm like, wait, what's going on, bro? You make about as much money as I do sometimes in a day, but why is it that you're so broke? And you know the reason why? It's because they have no financial literacy at all. They have zero financial literacy. And in these countries, they're given everything. They can have a house very cheap. They have free healthcare. In many of these countries, they have free healthcare. You turn on the television, you're like, oh, people are coming to America to get healthcare. In their countries, they have damn good healthcare. They may come to America for specialized healthcare. Like, saying, oh, guys, they're acting like, oh, everybody needs to go to John Hopkins. Oh, they have a child that has this rare condition, and, they're going to America because, the doctors in their countries are just not as good. Bro, it's John Hopkins University. It's one of the top research hospitals in the world. People in the United States go to John Hopkins when everywhere else fails. It's like absolutely insanity. All right? In their countries, they get free healthcare. Okay? If they need surgery, completely free. If they want a house, the cost to have a house it's not that much. So you go to these countries and almost everybody has a house. They have no money, but almost everybody has a house. How is that possible? Because it doesn't cost almost anything for them to have a house over there. A house that would cost $200,000, $300,000 in the United States. It's for them, it costs a couple $1,000s. If even that. It's ridiculous. Because they don't have any financial literacy. They drink, as soon as they make money, they drink it out and party it out. And that's the reason why a lot of them are broke. If you make $3,000 a month, if you live in America, you make $3,000 a month. You make sure that you're paying your bills, and you're also looking to invest. So you're looking on how you can improve. Like if you're working a full-time job and you're making $3,000 a month, you're going to make sure that you're putting aside a certain amount of money to pay your bills. Like you're going to look at your expenses. How much money what are my expenses every month? These are my expenses, okay? That has to be paid. So you're going to create, so a lot of people will create a separate account, and they're going to have an account that their bills are going to come out of. So every month, a certain amount of money, when they get paid, is going to go into their expense account. And that account is going, they're going to know exactly how much money they need to put in there. Okay? And then from what's left over, they're going to take that and they're going to break it in two. And they're going to put half of that usually in savings. So they have some money going into savings. And then from what's left over from that, that's the money, that's their fun money. That's the play money. Okay? They don't do that in other countries. As soon as they get that money, they drink it out, they party it out, they have their fun, and then they'll go sleep on the street. They'll just go sleep on the street. They'll do whatever they want to do, and then when they have no money, then they'll go do some handyman jobs, make a little bit more money. And these people don't want to go. A lot of these people don't want to go to school because the life is too comfortable in these countries where the weather's always nice. Their life is too comfortable, so they don't really want to work that hard. And people will say, these are some of the hardest working people in the world. No, they're not. The reason why they have to do these types of jobs is because they don't want to work, because they're basically chilling most of the time. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
That's going on today has to be at an all-time high. That was not just sad and pathetic. It was also just plain disgusting to watch. And I'm gonna be honest, it'd be very easy to point out the fact that these are some rather large women, and for them to be asking and demanding that a man make $150K being their size, almost one of those how dare they moments. But that's not even really the issue. The fact that any NFL team would look at these women as a welcome addition to their offensive line, that's not the point. The point is really just the attitude and the mentality behind everything they're saying. Because thanks to the internet and everyone's just desire to post all of their business, on social media, we've seen slim women pretty much say the same thing and get the same type of backlash. So it's not just all about because these are bigger women, but it's the fact that it's the masculinity that is just oozing out of these bigger women, much like you could find it in a woman of any size. Because one of the women did say that she makes over $150K. You can't verify it or not, so for the sake of argument, let's say that she's on the up and up and it's true. Then in the next breath, she says that she wants a guy that makes more and that he's going to be responsible for paying all the bills. So basically, who really cares about your $150K? You don't have any intention of actually using your resources to help move both of you together forward as a unit. And really, here's the thing. While this size would be an issue for some men, that wouldn't even be the most glaring issue, because there are some men out there who would be perfectly fine with what size they are if they at least possessed any feminine traits that just were missing. Because let's be honest, there are men who will settle for the woman who may not be his number one choice as far as how attracted physically he is to her, but because of how she carries herself, how she takes care of him, because of her feminine nature, he'll overlook that because he understands in the long run, those looks are going to eventually fade anyway. And the substance that's left behind afterward is going to hold more value. Those are things that these women just show that they don't possess.
Do you remember when Cardi B first came out and how everybody had a problem with how open she was, how loud she was, how audacious she was in her character? But now people love her. Because the thing that people try to silence about you is the thing that they are intimidated by because they wish they could do.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But hear me out. Maybe, just maybe, people have grown tired because she's been marketed so much, you've pretty much gotten numb to it. Or how about this? Maybe the people who really don't care for her have just chosen to ignore her and pretend as if she doesn't exist because they don't want to waste their time giving her any of their energy. It can be put into far more productive and better things. Or maybe, just maybe, you surrounded yourself with people who think just like you do. Because, well, that's what people tend to do. Avoid conflict and confrontation by only associating with people who pretty much are similar to themselves.
You know, guys, it's crazy. We look at this and we see these women who are attacking the passport bros, but then they're immediately filled with regret when they see the passport bros are walking away and finding beautiful women and taking these women back to the United States and forming communities with these women. And even then, they're putting down these men, and they can't seem to realize. Go to these countries, ladies. Look at the kinds of men that exist in these countries and compare them to American men. Are these men better looking than American men? Are these men taller than American men? Do these men have more money than American men? Do these men have the same work ethic that American men do? They don't ask these questions. They put down American men. They put down Western men, men from Western countries like the Australia, the UK, the United States, Canada, and other Western countries. And they say that they deserve better. And they talk about things like, I'm going to be, oh my goodness, I'll just become a passport sis and go find my man overseas. What, you think you're going to find a better man in France? You think you're going to find a better man in Germany? You think these men want you? Oh, wait, you're going to go to Thailand and find a better man in Thailand? You're going to go to the Philippines and find a better man in the Philippines where the average height is 5'5"? The average height is 5'5", and the average income is roughly like $300 a month. $300 a month. And there are a lot of people who make less than that. And that's the average like earning for a man over there. Literally like $10 a day. So these women don't live in reality. Okay? And like, look at, what's the average number of hours that these people work? These people only work 15, 20, not even 30 hours a week. While in the United States, you have men who are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week without even complaining. All right? But they don't care because they want it the way they want it. And they think, like I said, I had a friend who lived in Africa. And during 2020, she went through a lot. Her father passed away at the beginning of 2021. This is a black woman. Her father passed away at the beginning of 2021. Her mother's elderly. I think she's like in her 70s now. All right. She was like this young woman didn't even have like a phone of her own, this is another thing about like a lot of people who don't have financial literacy. Like you don't even have a decent phone. Like they don't invest in themselves. They don't invest in themselves. They don't invest in their work. They don't invest in their they don't invest in the tools of their trade. It's crazy. And she was always getting taken advantage of. Like, she lived in Nigeria and she was always being ripped off in Nigeria. She was always being ripped off in Nigeria. And no matter how much she was being taken advantage of, she was not humble. And she was a heavy-set woman. And she was now in her late 20s. And she basically told me that that any guy that she was with needed to be a minimum of 6'3". He needed to be 6'3". And I'll tell you what's crazy. When she originally saw me, she was like, oh my gosh, you're so handsome. I'm almost 6 feet. All right? And I look 6 feet to most people. All right? And she was like, oh, you're so handsome. And then here's the funny thing. After all her suffering that she's gone through, she started acting like she was better than me. And oh no, I need a man that's at least 6'3", and he needs to be thick. So he needs to be heavy. He needs to be Tyrone level muscular. And he has to be charismatic and kind and sweet and all these different. And that's just the beginning. He has to be able to provide for her. And I said to her, like, bro, the kind of guy you're describing, like, there's less, the men who are 6 feet tall. They only make up like 14% of America, the population in the United States. And we're not even talking about income level. We're just talking about height. And she goes, I like those odds. Those are good numbers. I'm like, what? Are you joking? Because only a small percentage of American men even make even make $100,000 or more a year. That's a rarity in America. It is a rarity in America to make $100,000 a year. And she's looking for a guy that's super rich. I'm like, what do you have to offer? Because I like checked her. I was like, listen, bro, you're almost 30. I'm not, you're almost 30. You're heavy set. You and like I basically told her what was up, and I was like, what do you actually? And she laughed at me. I was like, what do you really have to offer a man? And she goes, I'm ambitious and I'm charismatic and I'm all this other stuff. I said, what exactly does that do for any man? And she started laughing at me. And she said that she will get the man that she wants. And she's a great believer in Jesus. And it's like she believes that Jesus is gonna get her this man. And during 2020, at one point, she was like living in a church because her roommate chased her out of her house. And she was like sleeping in a church. And it's like it's just unbelievable. Like the mindset that some women absolutely have. And she thought that she's going to get the kind of man, she was going to get exactly what she wanted while she was there asking me to like sponsor her and help her. Like, what? What? Like, what do you think I am? Who do you think I am? And I know I heard her feelings because she has not spoken to me since. She was the one who hit me up, and then we started talking, and I just let her know what reality was. And, I know she's still out there, but she's not speaking to me. She literally won't even respond to my messages anymore, and I don't care. Because I told her what was up, and she could not accept reality. That's the thing. This is why men lie to women, because women cannot handle the truth. And they will live in delusion, and they will stay on their whore. They will stay on their hill until they expire. And that's why men don't tell them the truth, because they can't handle it. I'm telling y'all, hard times are coming. Hard times are coming. And most women are not prepared for it. The average baby boomer woman, and these women had the world at their fingertips, does not have enough money for retirement. Most Gen Z women right now don't have enough money for retirement. Millennial women they're carrying the largest amount of student loan debt in history. Largest amount of student loan debt in history. Right? They will never be able to retire. And they're banking on the government wiping out their student loan debt. Lol, good luck with that. And they're banking on finding a millionaire that's going to provide for them and give them a soft girl life, because they don't cook, they don't clean, but they have that WAP. No, sis. They live in a complete system of delusion. Complete, utter delusion. No one in their right mind would be thinking like this. No one in their right minds would be thinking like this, but you have to understand, none of these people are in their right minds. Because it's a combination of brainwashing and narcissism. And they have fully embraced it. I already said this. I said that, they got their rewards and now they're going to get their punishments. They made their deal with the devil. The devil delivered, and now they don't want to face the consequences. They don't want to pay the price. And the Satan's been doing this for billions of years. Universe, as far as we know, is billions of years old. So the devil's been around for billions of years, and they think they're going to outrun the devil. And that's a joke. That's a joke. He's going to collect. He's going to collect. The hellhounds are going to catch him. They're not going to outrun the hellhounds. The hellhounds are going to catch him and he's going to get what's his. Just like they got their bag, he's going to get his bag. It's as simple as that. They're not going to get away. They think they are. Right now, they're trying everything they possibly can to run away and not face consequences for their actions. And that's really and it's not going to happen. That's why the saying is, men are born poor and die rich, and women are born rich and die poor. They got their riches up front. They got their reward. They got their wealth up front, and they squandered it all. The time when they should have been settling down and finding a good man and building a family, they were out partying and building a career. And look, and how did that work out for you? And there's a lot of these women who think that they're on OF right now and they're going to be able to keep on doing OF until they're 50. You know, like until they're 40, 50, 60. What kind of delusion are you living in? Those same sick dude. A lot of guys in the comments are saying, you know, these women are going to be replaced by AI. A lot of these OF models are going to be replaced by AI, and they think that it's a game. They think it's a game. You have these chatbots out there right now, and they're becoming more sophisticated, and they're releasing some free software. It's coming from Meta. They're releasing open source AI, and this is gonna revolutionize things. Where a lot of developers are gonna take this technology and they're gonna build some really advanced systems, and you're going to have this kind of software available for free. And it's going to literally have the personality of a woman. It's going to be customized based on the needs of the individual. People think this is a game. It really is not. This is the absolute reality. Women are going to age out of the market, and they don't believe it. And when they age out, the ones who are going to survive are going to be the women who built something for themselves. They built a family. They went out instead of being out in the streets in their 20s, they were actually looking for a good man, all right, and not having these unrealistic expectations. And they found themselves a man, and that man, he holds everything down. He works, he pays all the bills in the house, and in exchange, they cook, they clean, and in a lot of cases, he allows them to work as well. They have their own job, and they can make money, and what's his. Whatever is his, he uses it to cover everything. And he gives them the freedom to spend their money however they choose to spend their money. And they love him for that. Because he gives them a foundation. And they have their children. And basically, they get to have their cake and eat it too. While these women who are out in the streets, they gave up everything. They squandered everything. So now all their marketplace value is diminished. And now and then now in their 40s, 30s, and 40s, and 50s and 60s, they think that men who've worked all their lives to build value are supposed to go and settle down with them and hand over their resources to them. Delusion, delusion, delusion. Women attacking the password bros immediately. Women attacking the password bros are immediately filled with regret, and it's no wonder, because they see that men are walking away and finding beautiful wives and having good lives overseas. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, how you see the future. All right, I want to know your thoughts, guys. Hey everyone, I appreciate your support and feedback. If you want to show your gratitude, you can use the super thanks feature to tip me any amount you like. You'll also get a special comment that I can see and reply to. Or you can become a channel member using the join button and get exclusive perks like badges, emojis, live chats, and more. Your support helps me make more videos for you. So thank you, and stay tuned for more. Yeah, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments regarding everything we discussed. I want to hear your thoughts, all right? And again, guys, if you're enjoying this content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube that you're enjoying the content and you want to see more of it. So, again, guys, like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.